Now we take an example of HTTP persistence modeling for looking at how persistent HTTP performs and how can we implement it in Omnet++. For that, in this module, we should look at the basic operation of HTTP in persistent mode. Then we'll explore how much support is given in Omnet++, specifically the Ionic Framework, and what customization and tailoring we can do to achieve our scenario implementation. This is a brief overview of how persistent HTTP performs. Here you see that TCP connection is opened one time and all the HTTP request response for an arbitrary number of objects takes place, and once all the objects have been requested and downloaded at the client end, the connection is terminated. The support for persistent HTTP had not been there in the beginning. RFC 793, which implements HTTP version 1.0, does not support persistence. So additional mechanisms were later added, which included the implementation of the keep alive message, which was sent by the client browser to the server, and the server echoed the same message, thereby letting the client know that keep alive is supported. So keep alive ensured that persistence could be implemented. But in HTTP 1.1, persistent HTTP connections come by default. If we explore the Ionic Framework in Omnet++, we'll find that there is a module which is interface for TCP applications that supports the incorporation of iTCP app in various application layer protocol modules. It is a fairly large figure, so for the sake of relevance and brevity, I've clipped the other half. Here you can see that HTTP browser, HTTP server, and their variants implement iTCP app as a template. It actually shows which gates a TCP app needs to connect to, and then both the iTCP app and HTTP browser become part of the standard host. The HTTP browser NED file is available on the source shown to you here on Ionet official website. The default support in the browser is for HTTP 1.1 as the default value of 11, although in the documentation it shows that it would also support 1.0 if the default value is overwritten as 10. The modes which are supported in HTTP browser are random request mode and the scripted mode. The random request mode makes no strict relationship in the selection of the web servers and follows a statistical distribution in sending out requests to the servers. But in the scripted mode, it is more like hard-coded HTTP operation. Here the browser is controlled in its behavior by a list of predefined websites that the browser has to visit.